speaking of things that don't get going here, we're going to talk about two teams that just can't seem to get a W here recently, and we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons and the Minnesota Vikings. What kind of injuries do we got there on this one?
I actually don't have much of an update on Julio Jones other than he didn't practice. I'll start on Atlanta's side. Given he re-injured it, I want to say Sunday game day will be 13 days from his re-injury. I would be willing to bet I hope they sit him out this week. They should have sat him out that Monday night game and just let him heal. But I would put him in that 2 to 3 week window where maybe he returns next week, but hopefully sits this week. Hayden Hurst popped up. Not that he's been a consistent option anyways, but he popped up on the injury list with a back injury. On Minnesota's side, reportedly, Dalvin Cook woke up and called Mike Zimmer and said, "Hey, I'm feeling 100%. I want to play."
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's the thing. When Alexander Madison steps into the lineup and runs for 112 yards, you miraculously feel a lot better, right? You got to get back into the lineup as quickly as possible. You don't want to get yourself Wally pipped. You don't want to get yourself Julian Edelman. Remember Wes Welker? I don't remember if you guys remember that clip there where Wes Welker decided to sit out because of an injury, and Bill Belichick and Julian Edelman was in there returning kicks for him, and Bill Belichick actually goes, "You ever heard of Wally Pipp, Wes?" He goes, "No." He kind of explained the story to him, and Wes is like, "Oh, okay." Well, Wes was gone, and Edelman took his place. So, yeah, Welker got pipped. And if Dalvin Cook's not careful, Madison's cheaper. Maybe Dalvin Cook gets pipped here at some point. They do a lot of the same things. Now, saying that first down opportunity there on the goal line last week, I think Dalvin Cook gets that. I think he has enough sense to give that good plant and just move over a couple steps and hit that on the right-hand side. But what do I know, right? So that's why we're here talking about it. They're on the field playing. So I definitely think Dalvin Cook gets that first down, though.
And most importantly, that's why you're in that chair getting your makeup done. I think we have to keep that in mind as well. So I think this is going to be another frustrating week for you here, Matt, because I think this is the week you're going to wish you had a Kirk Cousins back, because this is probably the week he's much more likely to finish in the top 12 with some of the ugly games and the bad matchups and the bye weeks. Like, it wouldn't be surprising for me to see Kirk Cousins finish in the top 12, maybe even top 10 this week. The Falcons have allowed 300 yards passing in every single game that they played. They 4 touchdowns, 2 quarterbacks in 4 out of 5 weeks, 2 touchdowns to Teddy Bridgewater last week. Makes me wonder if Irv Smith is a little bit of a sleeper. If you have a league where maybe Zach Ertz is not doing hardly anything for you, and Irv Smith was much more involved last week. I wonder if maybe they started to figure some things out. He had not been super involved in the passing game, and all of a sudden he was. If Cook is out, I am starting Alexander Madison. If he is not out and he is playing, I wonder if that could be bad for him going forward. I mean, like you said, same thing we saw with Julio. He probably should have sat out that week. I don't know that I love it if I have guys that I'm counting on and they push it. Sometimes it is just better to take that week off, take that hit. On Atlanta's side, I'm definitely sitting Hayden Hurst if I can. Minnesota has been really good against the tight end, but they have not been really good against wide receiver ones. And I think this is, if Julio is out, Calvin Ridley is an absolute. I love Calvin Ridley this week. That first week where you saw Devontae Adams go off, that's kind of what I'm envisioning and picturing, because I don't know that much else really is going to work for Atlanta this week other than Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley is the straw that stirs the drink there in Atlanta right now. Hurst has been very disappointing so far. Todd Gurley, though. Todd Gurley is 3rd in the league in rushing yards. My boy Todd Gurley. Everyone wrote him off. One-legged Gurley. No, I still love myself some Todd Gurley. I think Todd Gurley still is going to have success. I think he's going to have success against the Vikings this week. So I think you can definitely plug him in. Madison, I'm willing to put in with Delvin Cook in the lineup. I'm willing to take a shot at Madison as a flex play here. I definitely think there's a high risk of re-injury here. I'm no doctor, but I did stay at a Ramada once. I don't think we're going to see Delvin Cook near 100% in here. And I really do believe Delvin Cook is of that mindset that if he doesn't get back in the lineup, he could lose that. I'm not going to say starting role, but he could definitely see significant touches taken away from him going down once he becomes healthy. Because what we've seen from Madison already in small doses is he can definitely carry the load. He did this for Delvin Cook last year when he came in off of an injury. We know Delvin Cook does have injury history working against him here. So Madison's definitely a guy I'm looking at here this week. I really want to see him have that, get that ball, get a few more touches, see what he can do against this Atlanta defense, because we know you can run the ball on him. So even if Delvin Cook is 85, 90% healthy, I think they could both have very successful. Each of them have 100 scrimmage yards easily in this game, whether that's 60s to 70 yards rushing for Delvin Cook and 30 yards receiving. And then the flip side for Alexander Madison. I think they can both touch that mark there very easily with the all-purpose yards going into this week. I also think Todd Gurley could have 100 yards all-purpose and a touchdown. So it's going to be interesting to see. But for Atlanta, who's going to be that? If Julio's out, will Russell Gage step up? Will this be a Powell-type game? Who's going to be that wide receiver 2 for the Falcons? We know who the wide receiver 1A and 1B are for the Vikings. And we both know that they're going to go off for 100 yards each because, Cousins is going to be a QB5 this week just to piss me off because I'll never trust him again until next time I make a bet. You want to bet this week on Kirk Cousins?
Hey, I think that's a possibility. I think he's a top 12 guy.
Oh, you think he's a top 12 guy. Piss off.
Yeah. I just want to hear you give me a really good, you like that? Like a good Kirk Cousins soundbite.
Or should I just kind of throw this wig back on and give you a little something?
Like that?
Do you like that? Should I get up and do the Wild Bill from or Buffalo Bill?
That was great.
So seductive.
That was great.
Stupid.